Everybody's in a hurry tonight. I'm just going to delay a little bit now, Andrea. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, council, staff, those joining us in the council chambers, and those joining us on YouTube. I'd like to call this regular council meeting to order, and we will begin by inviting everyone to join council and staff in a moment of silent reflection. Thanks, everyone. That brings us to item 3 of our agenda. That's the approval, and I have a motion moved by Councillor LaChapelle and seconded by Councillor Bumstead that the council meeting agenda for November 26, 2025 be approved. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Any disclosures of interest at this point? Seeing none, as we move through the agenda, should you recognize an interest, please state the general nature thereof and fill out the required paperwork with our clerk as soon as you're able to following this evening's meeting. That brings us to presentations and delegations, and we have 3 tonight, so we've got a busy night. So beginning with our first one, it's Sean Molnar, Director of Communications and Community Relations, Georgian Bay General Hospital, and Jen Russell, Director, Communications and Engagement, Georgian Bay General Hospital Foundation, 2026 budget requests. Welcome, Sean and Jen. Just a reminder to speak into the microphone when you're speaking so those on YouTube can hear us, hear you.
We can share. It's all right.
All good. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you for having us. So on September 29th, the GBGH Foundation officially launched the We See You campaign. It's a bold goal to raise $20 million and invest in priority medical equipment and technology and an acute mental health wing for Georgian Bay General Hospital. Our goal today is to share with you a bit about the campaign vision and provide you with some context about why We See You Inside and Out is so important for our community. But first, a celebration. Thank you. The Township of Tay has been a generous and loyal partner over the past 26 years. Together, you've invested more than $558,000 in Georgian Bay General Hospital with great impact in our emergency department, diagnostic imaging, laboratory services, equipment and technology for inpatient units, and of course, physician recruitment. So thank you.
All right, over to myself with some numbers. So, as many of you know, GBGH is a very busy hospital. Over 800 staff, 250 professional staff, and now over 100 volunteers as of recently. We serve a permanent population of more than 65,000 residents, and seasonal and cottage community is large, accounting for upwards of 200,000 in the busiest times. We're funded for 113 beds, but we often, because of what I just mentioned, see very drastic swings in the patients that are coming in that need care and other services. The emergency department continues to be incredibly busy, more than 43,000 visits last year. Our surgical department, oh, we're missing one. Oh, well, these are just backwards. That's okay. Okay, here we go. All right, we had our pages wrong here. So highlighted here is Tay Township. As I mentioned, it's busier each year to meet the increasing needs of our communities. As the population grows within our region, we see the impact on our hospital every day. So for Tay Township, your residents represent just about 16% of all ED visits to GBGH last year. What this doesn't show, as I mentioned, is the visits from those residents who don't have their primary residence here, whether it's a secondary residence or those that visit through rentals and other means throughout the year. So this adds an additional 8,339 visits to the totals that you see highlighted here. Okay. That's okay. All right, some social determinants of health. So this is just something that's used and shows the conditions that people are born, they grow, they live, they work, and they age. So this includes factors like income, housing, education, employment, and also access to healthcare. These factors have a profound impact on health outcomes. They influence everything from chronic disease rates all the way up to and through emergency department visits throughout the year. So unfortunately, 73% of people in GBGH's catchment area are within these high-risk SDH groups. So that's obviously a reason for our high occupancy numbers, high visits in their emergency departments pretty consistently. So this means that most residents face significant barriers to good health. The large impacts on GBGH are higher demand for services, more complex patient needs, need for holistic coordinated care, and 40% higher emergency department visits come from these at-risk or high-risk neighborhoods. So through and through, there's a lot of them. As many of you know, population growth is a big thing. Impacts everyone here and impacts GBGH as well. So not only is our community facing significant barriers to good health, but the population is growing steadily. So right here, the red line is represented by GBGH, and the blue line is the provincial average. So you can see that we're running well above that. And our catchment area population is projected to grow by 35% over the next 20 years, which is also significantly higher than what the average is across the province of Ontario. So demands for hospital capacity. Obviously, the population growth means an inevitable demand for services throughout the hospital in line with the growth of the population. Our hospital's been operating at 125% capacity, either at or near this level for the past 3 weeks alone. So this means that 25% of patients that are admitted in the hospital aren't actually receiving care within a room in the hospital in a bed. So it's hallway health care. So they're in cubbies, they're on stretchers, sometimes they're even in chairs when we get to very, very high capacity. This summer, and in the spring, we ran up to 167% capacity at times. So that's, again, 67% of those admitted people weren't actually in a bed in a room for themselves or a double room. With the predicted growth over the next 20 years, we can expect to need more than 100 additional beds, and this doesn't include any specialty beds relating to mental health, surgical care, or rehab beds. So this is just in general acute care beds at the hospital. So just a bit more on the demand for capacity. Midnight censuses provide an accurate measure of bed occupancy within a hospital. So this data is essential for determining whether the hospital can actually accommodate new admissions, including patients from the emergency department, transfers from any other facilities nearby, or elective procedures that are actually scheduled for the next day. So as you can see by this graphic on the screen, it illustrates that GBGH is often operating at a capacity that's actually above the beds that were budgeted for from the government in Ontario Health. So this is just a quick peer comparison here. So some of them are obviously hospitals that are more local to us in North Simcoe, and then the others that are further away are just comparison based on size and services that they offer. So when you compare with our peers, we have a high number of ED visits and a high number of patient days in comparison to others, and that just runs consistent with what's been mentioned in the presentation already. So some recruitment successes. In 2025, we've had 41 professional staff recruited to date. So our team's done a great job to bring in new professional staff that are much needed within the hospital. And we're very grateful to the township's support in this area of physician recruitment. Funds provided allow us to attend various recruitment events throughout North America to introduce physicians to our community. It's been a big help, obviously, with what's happened recently in the United States. We've even been able to shift some of our recruitment efforts down there for physicians that are looking to get out of the climate right there. And ultimately, it's our goal, obviously, to get locums, which are the temporary physicians who come to fill spots, to move here permanently. And this has been a great help to that. On top of these numbers, there have also been dozens of new staff onboarded in departments throughout the hospital in support roles, so administration, food services, clinical support staff, and more. So it's helping in many ways throughout the hospital, in many ways of need. As you're aware, Tay Township and others in North Simcoe and within our serving area, they face ongoing pressure in family medicine. So although we secured 5 new family physicians in Southern Georgian Bay and more specifically within Penetang, we anticipate the need for 20 more or 20 plus additional family physicians over the next 5 years just to meet the growing demand and ensure that there's continuity of healthcare for all your constituents. So this leads also to approximately 1 in 4 Ontarians, so 4.4 million without a family doctor in 2026. So this isn't just us, this is all throughout hospitals within the province that recognize the great need for physicians. And again, thanks for your continued support. So these are goals that we're looking forward to achieving with it. So the funds will be used for enhanced clinical learner experience, so more clinical placements for students that are still learning, so we can build long-term relationships and hopefully have them settle within TAY after their graduation once they become the professionals that they're training for. Strengthening partnerships, so partnering with TAY Township to streamline and facilitate the practice of medicine locally. And clinical space support initiatives, so partnering to explore the availability of medical office space to reduce the cost burden on physicians, which just makes it more attractive for them to move within this area. And some recent successes. So I know some in the room here were at our MRI grand opening, which was a great success. First patient was scanned after the grand opening in March 2025. It's operating 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we've already had over 2,400 scans completed to date, which has been a massive success within the community. A lot of early diagnosis because of that and people getting expedited the care that they need. Obviously, a significant reduction in wait times and very important local access to care. It just eliminates people needing to travel to Barrie or other areas to get that MRI that they much need. Mammography, we just started construction on this recently, so it's fulfilling an urgent need within North Simcoe, about 7,200 eligible individuals that can go and get scans within mammography. Reduce wait times, again, closer to home, expedited diagnoses, getting them treatment sooner, getting them better sooner. As I said, construction has started and the first patient is planned to be scanned in early 2026. In surgical, so we've obviously increased our hours, we've gotten new equipment, and we're able to offer more procedures which are much needed. We have our RVH partnership, so between August 2024 and February 2025, RVH surgeons performed 145 surgeries at GBGH, and a large number of those were pediatric as well. And these have included vascular, plastics, orthopedics, and just general surgery. So these are reducing wait times by up to 5 months for people, which is a huge help in their health. So just some information here on an acute mental health care program. So mental health is obviously a large burden across the province, but in our community specifically. There's significant need for these services at GBGH. 60% of all patients that seek mental health care at GBGH right now, they wait more than 48 hours for an admission to an acute mental health bed to get the care that they need. So the average wait time is 66, and part of the challenge is that 45% of the patients that are seeking acute mental health care, they also have a medical need. So they can't be transferred to an appropriate psychiatric facility even if it's available, because their acute care need has to be taken care of first before they can be transferred. So with having an acute mental health program, everything can be taken care of in one place. They don't need to get the acute care and then be transferred to another facility. They can get the acute care that they need and at the same time get the mental health care that they need. And that's it for me. Back to Jen.
So this campaign is really about addressing some of those things that Sean mentioned. Bringing an acute mental health program to GBGH is going to be vitally important, and part of what we're fundraising for through this campaign is the community share of that program. It will include 24 acute care beds, 16 which are acute care beds, and 8 specialized geriatric beds. That is the proposal that is with the provincial government right now. We're continuing to focus on diagnostic imaging, MRI, as Sean mentioned, mammography is next, ultrasound investments, and then beyond that, renovations to our pharmacy and our laboratory, which are from the original 1976 build and really haven't seen much updating in terms of space or efficiency or anything since then. And equipment throughout the whole hospital, that is always going to be an ongoing challenge that we're facing. And just making sure that the teams are equipped with all the equipment that they need to provide excellent care every day. But success isn't just about transforming the numbers, it's really about the patient experience. So it's about ending those really long waits for patients in mental health crisis. It's about providing state-of-the-art tools for diagnosis and treatment so people can get answers sooner. it's meeting and exceeding those safety standards in our lab and pharmacy to make sure that every patient is getting the safest and best possible care. And then building capacity to meet those needs for the future. That's really the key outcomes that we'll see through this program. And looking further into the future, on the horizon after we've completed this campaign, we know that in order to meet that big demand in the future, we are going to need a new hospital. So that is on the horizon. It's got 2030, 2040, depending on timelines and all those things. But that is going to be a $100 million campaign that we're going to need the support of the entire community in order to build that facility. And that's just the community share as well. So we're happy to answer any questions that you might have, but thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to give you this information and to share what we're doing at the hospital and with the foundation.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Sean. Very informative. Council, any questions or comment? Not seeing much at this point, but you know that we're at TAY are very proud of the association that we have with GBGH, and that has been over the years with previous councils as well. And we look forward to continuing that and continuing our contributions to GBGH, and we will be giving your request consideration during our budget deliberations. Just a couple of things. The surgical, I was at a meeting at RBH last week, and they mentioned the arrangement with GBGH for surgical. That sounds like a really good idea. And they showed us the orthopedic robot surgery that they're doing for hip replacements. And it was pretty amazing too. So do they do that at GBGH, or is the machine just at RBH?
I believe that one is just at RVH right now. As it said in the presentation, I think there was 145 surgeries. So, but the partnership's been very successful, so we're always looking to expand it. It's just when we have the space available to bring those surgeons over, and then obviously getting the equipment that we need to expand the surgeries, right?
Yeah.
The list of surgeries that we can do, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're using it yet. It might just be in its infancy, but
Right.
it looked pretty neat.
Yeah.
So we were happy, of course, again, to share with you a little bit of our proceeds from our golf tournament that Councillor LaChapelle worked hard on, and staff. It turned out to be very successful again. We're not having it this year or next year, but hopefully the council of the following year will carry that on in 2027.
Definitely.
Right, yeah. So, sure, go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted to mention, I was one of the people that are lucky enough to have an MRI in Midland. I waited 8 months at other hospitals for an MRI, and then when you opened, I was able to get in. And my orthopedic surgeon was very excited to see the first MRI he had seen from there, and said it was so clear compared to others that
Good, very
he had
good.
been seeing from other hospitals. So good job on that.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Always good news, yeah. So again, thanks so much for tonight, and thank the staff for us, for everything that you do, and it's so nice to have a facility like that so close to us, as Sean mentioned, travel to Barrie and everything. So thanks so much, continued good luck, and have a good Christmas.
Thanks everyone.
Next, we have Julie Cayley, the Executive Director of the Severn Sound Environmental Association, better known as SSEA, with 2026 budget requests. Julie, welcome. Floor is yours, and if you speak into the mic, that will help us with our YouTube watchers. Just like the Wizard of Oz. She's
High tech.
as one of the most polluted areas in the Great Lakes, and delisted through a lot of work, and have been your joint municipal service board since 2009. 8 municipalities collaborating to protect the watershed, really important to the health of our community, our people, and our economy. In 2025, we've continued on with our monitoring programs, and everything from the streams to groundwater, stream temperature, rain gauges, open water monitoring. One of the things we have shifted significantly in our work has been working harder to get our data and our results out to the public. So this year we've started doing QR code signs that we work with municipalities to put up near where we might be monitoring, so folks can take a picture of the code and it will take them right to the website, where we try to post within 48 hours of our monitoring runs. So these open water stations you see here in Hog Bay, Sturgeon Bay, and Port Severn, people would be able to see the results very quickly. And we've also been doing that in hopefully a way that's more user-friendly than we as science folks think is user-friendly. So hopefully folks have had a chance to look at those. This is an example of what those look like. So more of a dashboard, good, bad, fair kind of thing, so folks can see each time what things look like at the bays. What I will say is I am not our scientist, so if there are big questions and you want a follow-up, we're happy to have Olena come speak to you and give you a deep dive into what we're seeing result-wise out in those stations and do a specific presentation. But we are seeing sort of what we see everywhere, which is increase mostly in salt, so chloride, sodium levels, and that's happening across the province, but we are certainly seeing it in shallower bays and our inland lakes, including Hog Sturgeon and the Port Severn site. Mostly in Hog and Sturgeon, they're shallower. All of our stewardship programs, we try to continue on. As our board member knows, we spend a ton of time trying to find external money to do a lot of this work. So whether it's tree planting programs, doing pollinator plantings, that sort of thing. One of the things that was different in 2025, and we are looking to continue on with, and we do have one of our Ag Committee members here joining us as well tonight, Mr. Dave Ritchie. We were able to get some provincial funding to do a Hog Creek project, so working with landowners specifically in the Hog Creek drainage area to do what we sort of developed as a one-window approach. So having Severn Sound being the point of contact, and the landowners could work through us to search anything they might want to do on their property. So they might want to do some planting, they might want to do some citizen science work so they know their own properties, invasive species removal. They might be interested in land easements and acquisitions, so we can put them in touch with our connects at some of the land stewardship organizations as well, like Couchiching Conservancy and that sort of thing. So we think it worked well. Unfortunately, with external funding, if it's 1 year at a time, you build momentum and then you don't have money to keep moving forward. So we are working very hard to find more money for that, as well as for an ag and nature initiative that we're launching. So we did have money to start to launch that. And that's reducing greenhouse gas emissions, sequestering carbon, and increasing ecosystem goods and services clearly on agriculture properties. So we do have a couple potential projects, and that will be more watershed-wide as well. The invasive species program, I know your municipality takes advantage. Your staff use us regularly to either help with identification or training, that sort of thing. And we really welcome that and are very happy that your staff just pick the phone up and do that. It's very important to us to be able to provide some of that expertise and make sure that it's being used as well. Municipal drinking source water protection. We play two roles for you in that. One is as the Source Protection Authority, so that's at the provincial scale, sitting at the regional table, making sure that the policies that are changed are happening fit at the ground level, and then the risk management services. So the provincial piece is still paid for by the province, and on the ground level, that is paid for. The risk management services are paid for, obviously, are on your budget. Sorry, I should have mentioned on the previous slide too, this year alone, your community members planted over 2,270 seedlings, which is really big for one municipality. And on one site, which is a site that we've been working with for years on the Hog Creek, over 1,000 planted just on one site as a community tree plant. So really appreciative of the members of this community as well and their uptake. The Sustainable Severn Sound Project. So traditionally that has been working with you and your partners in climate protection climate program, and we'll continue to work with you on moving you into the implementation phase towards milestone 4. But the big change this year was the incredible success of our team to secure funding, 2 years worth of funding from the Intact Foundation, so to do a flood risk review. So this is not floodplain mapping, it's sort of a precursor to that. But working with your municipalities, municipal staff in particular, the county as well, and emergency preparedness staff are really helping us as well to identify some high flood risk areas. So that's a 2-year project that's well underway. It just had its first working group meeting this week or last week. So it's being affectionately known as Flood Ready Severn Sound because we felt like we had enough acronyms for projects at this point. So moving forward into 2026, the programs I've highlighted, certainly we plan to continue. Like I mentioned, we're trying to secure money to continue on with the ag programming as well. So we'll continue to move on that. We will be reaching out to your staff on the communications side. There's an example on the right of the slide of the QR code signs. So those can go up at boat launches or beaches, anywhere that folks might want to take a picture and just know what water quality looks like out in the bay or wherever else we're doing monitoring. We will obviously continue to apply for external funding for a lot of these stewardship programs. And I also want to mention that sort of the behind the scenes, and I know it did recently make the paper because the Township of Tiny has officially asked us to also do a deeper dive into provincial policy changes around the Conservation Authority regulations and boundary changes. And when we did that, we discovered there was a discrepancy between the map and municipalities being listed. So we have reached out to your CAOs for those who we feel will be most affected, but we will be doing more of a, probably by next week, just a report back to all municipalities on what we feel needs to just be watched in that. Unless you're interested in becoming part of that larger regional conservation authority, in which case that would certainly be something we could help connect you with to consider what that might look like as well in the review. So you have the budget in front of you. One of the things that we haven't brought forward in the past that our board reminded us was important to share with you was the amount of money that we raise as a staff. So in 2025, to the point of when we submitted this, the slide deck, our staff had raised approximately $428,000 of external funding, and that can be anywhere from like Huronia Community Foundation or Intact, the federal or provincial government, wherever we apply for funding. Right now is an extremely busy time. For some reason, there's a lot of funding deadlines coming up. December 22nd, we actually have 3 provincial and 1 federal, so staff are working very hard at acquiring those, but that's how we get most of that stewardship programming that is leveraged work that's above and beyond the core budget for us and that you've paid for. And without your core, we wouldn't be able to leverage that. And they've already raised $125,000 for 2026 as well. So the team works very hard at doing that. You can see the budget ask there, and I think I will leave it at that. I imagine you probably have some questions. I can leave it on this slide or the slide with my name and contact just in case you forgot where we were.
Okay, thanks, thanks, Julie. Welcome, Dave. Council, any questions or comments? You've been very busy this year, and we've had the opportunity to see them Canada Day. You had a real good display there. We had a chance to talk to the staff, and the kids always seem to like looking at the little bugs, I'll call them, in the canisters. So thanks for all the good work you do, and we will be giving consideration to your request during our budget deliberations. And if we have any questions in the interim, we know how to get a hold of you.
Thank you, Your Worship. I also forgot to mention, your staff, as our administrative municipality, it's a real pleasure to be able to reach out to your staff, whether it's HR, health and safety, the treasury, finance folks. It's just been a real pleasure to work with them. And we really appreciate as well that they've been trying to help us find some cost-cutting measures. So
great.
it's just a thank you. You've got a really great team to work with. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think it would be reciprocal. I think they enjoy working with you guys as well, so.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Okay, council, next we have Heather Walker and Heather DeLong, our chair of the library and our head librarian with respect to 2026 budget requests. Welcome, Heathers. As mentioned to the previous delegation, if you could please speak into the mic when you're speaking. That way our people watching on YouTube can pick up what you're saying. And I'll turn the floor over to you once you're ready.
So the library board would like to present our operating and capital budget for 2026.
Heather, you may have to get a little closer to the microphone.
Is it on? Is it on?
Yep,
Okay,
there we go.
thank you. Okay. The library board has been struggling for a number of years to remain within the suggested budget percentage increase set as the target directed by council. Over the term of this current library board, a number of ad hoc committees were initiated for possible changes to delivery of Tay Library services, including reviewing the entire staffing organization, open branch hours, including a facility assessment in order to maximize efficiency, affordability, accountability, and sustainability of the Tay Library system. The current library board has reduced slightly the number of branch open hours, maintaining consistency as much as possible, the complement of staff, and reduced by approximately 30 hours the number of staffing hours each week worked, although these hours had been approved by a previous library board. The current library board's ability to control the cost of staffing is hampered by the need for a specific number of staff to cover a 3-branch system. Pay equity, the hourly wages paid, plus other benefit costs associated with compensations, such as OMERS, etc. In the preparation of our 2025 budget, we did offset the costs of the 2025 compensation review with approximately $62,000 from the savings materialized in wages and expenses and transferred to reserves. The library board, though, can no longer afford to dip into these reserves to this degree of support in order to remain viable for future needs. A large portion, as I said, of this increase is due to the library board use of the $60,000 in reserves to offset the operating costs in 2025, while waiting for a decision on the board's recommendation regarding the future of the 1-branch system. Pardon? Okay, self-explanatory. Yeah. Revenue. The revenue. This chart encompasses all of the library's sources of income. Our branch costs, such as rent, along with programming expenses, amount to only 8.87% of the total budget, with library administration and wages taking up the remainder of the 100%. Again, self-explanatory. And the same, self-explanatory. Okay, and self-explanatory. Sorry. It's okay. And self-explanatory. Very detailed, but self-explanatory. Thank you to Emmy. And self-explanatory.
Okay, now you gotta read that one.
And this one, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so the library board, as I mentioned, decreased the contribution from unrestricted to reserves to operations from $61,811 in 2025 to $30,000 in 2026. As the contribution from reserves is lower than prior years, the municipal contribution must be increased. Other revenue sources have remained consistent with prior years, with no increases in provincial funding or branch-specific revenue being expected. The board hesitates to dip further into reserves to offset the increase in financial need due to the impending review of the number of library facilities and the impending accessibility capital project renovations. So our Tay Township Public Library 2026 municipal contribution request is as follows. The budget presented has a request for municipal contribution of $593,319, an increase of $76,659 over the municipal contribution requested in 2025. This includes $96,814 in direct flow funding from the township to the library for support services and the rental charge on the township-owned buildings, with the municipal grant from taxation for library purposes being $496,505. So that concludes our presentation, and we thank you for allowing us to present. And hopefully we can answer any questions, and if not, we could direct them to Emmy, as she is our library treasurer as well.
Okay, thank you, Heather and Heather. Council, any questions or comments? So we will certainly give your request consideration. It is, as you know, recognized quite an increase, and but we will give consideration to it and get back to the board in plenty of time if there's any changes requested, that you have time to consider what those might be. So
Thank you.
thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, council, that brings us to our consent list. Are there any items on the consent list that anyone wishes to pull at this point? Not seeing any. So
Just wanted to make sure, Your Worship, that the
Yeah, that's item 9.1. Okay. All right, so I have a motion moved by Councillor Raymond and seconded by Councillor Larmall that the consent list for November 26, 2025, and the recommendations contained therein be adopted as resolutions of council. All in favor? That is carried. So that brings us to our staff reports, 7.1. From our Manager of Planning and Development Services, read the removal of a hold on 157 First Avenue, 2025-BA-14. The director is not, or the manager is not with us tonight. This is something that came from previous meetings, and as far as I'm aware, there hasn't been any more correspondence received in this regard. So I think we're...
You're correct, Your Worship.
So we're okay to deal with this tonight, Chief, thank you. So to that end, I have a motion moved by Deputy Mayor Norris and seconded by Councillor LaChapelle that item PDS 2025-045, dated November 26, 2025, regarding the removal of the holding symbol for 157 First Avenue be received, and that council approve the removal of the holding symbol for 157 First Avenue, and that the appropriate bylaw be brought forward for council consideration later in the meeting. All in favor? That's carried, thank you. Item 7.2, report from our treasurer, Municipal Ice Storm Support Assistance Program. Madam Treasurer, do you have anything to add?
Thank you. So this report's coming to you based on a funding opportunity which the province released as a result of the March ice storm. And so we're requiring a resolution from council in order to complete our application for this funding. Obviously, the costs outlined here are not the full breadth of what the response to the ice storm cost the municipality, as there's only eligible expenses, but it's something.
Okay, I think we passed something similar to this at county the other day. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, I have a motion moved by Councillor Bumstead and seconded by Deputy Mayor Norris that item CS 2025-091, dated November 26, 2025, regarding the Municipal Ice Storm Support Assistance Program, MISA, be received. And whereas the municipality of the Township of Tay has eligible costs directly linked to the March 2025 ice storm, the Council of the Township of Tay hereby requests assistance under the MISA program, and further that Emmy Carlson, Treasurer, is given delegated authority to verify and attest to the accuracy of the application as outlined within CS 2025-91. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. And next, 7.3, from our financial analyst, re 2026 water and wastewater rates, and I will get Emmy to speak to this.
Thank you. So this is a standard report with the associated bylaw that comes to council every year to establish the water, wastewater rates for the coming year.
Okay. Any comments from council? The only comment I make is that I know it's necessary, but those rates have always been a little on the high side, and appreciate the fact that we're trying to keep them as low as possible, but still be able to operate the system. So with that said, I have a motion moved by Councillor Larmont, seconded by Councillor Raymond, that item CS 2025-092, dated November 26, 2025, regarding the 2026 water and wastewater rates be received, and that the proposed water and wastewater rates continue to follow option 1 of the 2017 amended water and wastewater study and the 2025 asset management plan, and that the necessary bylaw to establish the water and wastewater rates for 2026 be presented to council for consideration later in the meeting. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Next, we have item 7.4. Treasurer's been busy. Item CS 2025-089, read the 2026 interim tax levy bylaw. Madam Treasurer.
Thank you. So similar to the last report, this report is an annual report which comes to council with the associated bylaw to allow the municipality to collect the interim tax levy, which is based on 50% of what was billed for the prior year.
Any questions or comments from council? Seeing none, I have a motion moved by Councillor LaChapelle, seconded by Councillor Bumstead, that item CS 2025-089, dated November 26, 2025, regarding the 2026 interim tax levy bylaw be received, and that the necessary bylaw to establish the interim tax levy and due dates be presented to council for consideration later in the meeting. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Item 8, delegation follow-up. We had 3 delegations tonight. Any comments at this time on any of them, or any direction at this point? Not seeing any. I think we'll give consideration during our budget deliberations. Pardon me? My budget, yes. And deliberations. Moving on to item 9. Correspondence, Tay Township Public Library Board. Revised recommendation to Council Library Services. This is pulled from our November 24 CIP by Councillor LaChapelle. Councillor LaChapelle, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. It's just to keep this short and sweet. The intent is to the library board to do a amendment to the recommendation for the February meeting. As we all aware, there was very good discussion, and I think a lot of the input and information was reviewed and discussed at the library meeting. Hence, the opportunity to revisit this for the time frame of February of the meeting to kind of do an amendment to what's there and see how it goes.
Okay.
That's it.
So just information at this point? Okay. Thank you.
Correct.
That brings us to our next item on the agenda, 10.1, notices of motion, and we do have a notice of motion. A notice of motion from Councillor Raymond, staff's report direction, Wabashine Library Branch. Councillor Raymond, do you wish to speak to this?
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. Briefly, it's just as we talk and we're going to be receiving another report from the library board, one of the concepts that seemed to be floating around was converting the Wabashine branch into a community center to benefit the Wabashine community with having something a bit more that they can rent out and use for social aspects. When I was speaking with staff, unofficially just trying to determine how costs are calculated, it just seems like a good idea. Maybe if we could just get them to report, and that'll be another item that we can consider in our deliberations on what we're going to do down the road. And it's not a guarantee that we're going that way at all. It's just to find out what it would cost to transition the library building as it exists today into a community center, what their anticipated thoughts were. So from that perspective, I guess I'll need a seconder.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I just wonder, I think this is probably going to be one of a number of steps we're going to have to take to look at different options, different locations. And then we have the fire report coming, which did make some hints that needs in some of our fire departments, particularly Wabashine and Port McNicoll, I believe. So those need to be looked at in conjunction with, does that give us an opportunity as well? So, go ahead, Councillor Lerma.
Okay, so I was a little bit confused by this notice of motion. I spoke to, I had a conversation with Brian Anderson about it, about the Wabashine, the costs associated with moving the Benny Club. As far as he's concerned, there would be no cost moving the Benny Club because the township wouldn't be responsible to move the Benny Club. And they certainly wouldn't, if it's going to be a community center, we certainly wouldn't want all of the stuff that they have in their portable moved into there, otherwise nobody else in the community could use that building. So I think it's putting the cart before the horse. No decisions have been made yet about what's going to happen with that building or any of them. And I just think there would be, staff has better things to do than work on something that we don't know is happening yet.
Yeah, yeah, there will be a number of considerations. We did have some ideas about the fire department in Wabashine and doing something there as well. But at this point, I think it's too early to do a plan of attack, but once some of these other information items start coming in, then we can maybe eliminate or add or change direction. So Councillor Raymond, so the way this works is it would actually come as a motion to our next meeting, right, Madam CAO?
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, you are correct. So the purpose of tonight was just to give notice to council that this is coming forward at the next meeting for discussion
Right.
and
Yeah,
consideration.
so, you know, with that in mind, I'm willing to withdraw this notice. I have no problem with that. I just thought I would put it out there to see if there was an appetite to start some discussions on a direction. My fear is that because it's such a contentious issue, that the term will elapse and nothing will have been done, and then the next term council will have to deal with it, because it's not an issue that's going to go away. In my heart, that's the way I honestly feel. So I just thought this would be a step in the right direction. Maybe it is premature. In that case, I do respectfully withdraw the notice at this time.
Okay, and I think that we have, there's a number of options. I've been bouncing stuff around too and trying to think of ideas, so, but as we get there's the fire report and there's one other report I was thinking of. Parks and Recs master plan as well, that might have some impact on what our options might be or what the best options might be. Okay, Councillor Raymond, thank you though. Council announcements. Does anyone have any announcements to make? Councillor Lerma.
Sorry, through you, with the Seniors Advisory Committee on December, I have to look real quick, I think 15th. Yeah, 15th, we're having a lunch at the Oakwood Community Center. It's free lunch, it's chili, and we're gonna have cookie decorating for seniors. And we would like RSVP so that we know how many, yeah, we can have a maximum of 50 people for the lunch, so.
Okay, good. Sounds like a good fun day. The last one was very good, by the way. Councillor Raymond.
Thank you, Your Worship, through the chair. The Port McNicoll Youth Activity Group is very busy. This is probably the busiest 2 months going into the end of the year. Right now, tonight, they have another session of kids going through making some calendar for Christmas, advent calendar, if you wish. Home, you know, all the kids are crafting. They're doing some other crafts. They started this for Halloween and they haven't stopped, so they're running almost weekly. Pretty good. We've also got this Sunday. Sunday we have the Wabashine Parade, Christmas Parade. Hope everybody can attend.
Yeah.
And then the following weekend is the tree lighting at Talbot Park. Always a great event. And we have a nice new tree from last year.
Yeah.
I heard it's going to be lit up like crazy this year, I hope.
Good.
Right?
Good.
So, anyway, looking forward to anybody who can participate. It's festive time for us. Let's do it well.
Good. Sounds like we might have some snow by then, too.
Thank you.
The weather report's accurate. Anyone else? Deputy Mayor Norris.
Right, thanks, Your Worship. Just quickly, 13 meetings, 18 various functions this past month. It's been a busy month between the county and different events here in the municipality. Just quickly from the county, two important issues that have come up. I think council has been addressed on it, and that's to do with the 3.5 county tax. That budget has been set. And just quickly, you know, just for dollars and cents, based on a $400,000 assessment, basically you paid $1,240 last year in that taxation. It's an increase of $44 this year. So somebody that has an assessment of $400,000, you'll be paying $1,285 just at the county level. The other part that was presented to us, and that is the community blueprint for affordable housing and homeless prevention strategy was presented to us on Tuesday by our GM, and it was quite impressive. It's to take us to the next 10 years. So basically what we have right now, we have 1,331 households in new units that'll be coming on. There's 3,750 households through subsidies. The total households that the county actually housed right now is 5,000. So the target over the next 10 years will take that figure to possibly 20,000. So it's quite impressive. But anyhow, that was good to hear the other day. So other than that, we do have, as Councilor Raymond said, the Santa Claus Parade. A big shout out to the Horticultural Society. They've been out there busy decorating our gardens for the winter, so it looks very impressive. Other than that, that's all I have, Your Worship.
Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Just from my perspective, I just wanted to mention the Remembrance Day services that were held in Port Nickel, Victoria Harbour, Wabashine, and Waverley this year. Thanks to the Waverley was a little bit different format, but it was very nice, and thanks to Victoria Harbour Legion President Bob Ladisier and members of the Victoria Harbour Legion, including the Colour Party, for putting on the ceremony at Waverley. There were quite a few people there, which was really nice to see. And Bob said he's promising bigger and better things next year, so we can look forward to that. I did attend the Big Brother and Big Sisters of North Simcoe 50th anniversary celebration at St. Marie. It was a great day, and it was really nice to hear what they do, the Big Brothers and Big Sisters organization. And at each table, there was either a big brother or a big sister. So it was really nice to see. Quite a few events for the county, as Deputy Mayor mentioned. And it was nice to see the turnout at the street naming for Doc Talbot in Port McNichol. And we had the airboat funds presentation this week here. And congratulations to that committee for raising $350,000. So amazing achievement in that time period, considering it was during COVID as well. So great job. Port Lions had their Christmas basket skate and donate function, which turned out really well. And last night I was at the Victoria Harbour Lions Club dinner, and during the evening they raised $275 for the food bank, and then they agreed that they would top it up to $500. So great work by the Harbour Lions. And I know the Port Lions are working on their Christmas basket program as well. So, and we are having the Thompson Terminal Tay Township Toy Drive again. The trucks will be coming with the toys, and all the area groups have been notified, so they can come and collect some toys for the kids on their list. So it looks really good. Nothing else from anyone? Oh, sorry, Councillor Bumstead.
I just wanted to mention, I attended the Remembrance Day services at the public school in Victoria Harbour.
Yes. Thank you
And
for that.
I have to tell you, that was amazing. The choir they had, I was thrilled.
Yeah.
And the whole ceremony was really, really well done. And the kids were so well behaved and disciplined. It was a really great experience.
Oh, great. Thank you for
Yeah.
doing that, by the way. And I know when I went last year, there's nothing like hearing a bunch of school kids sing "O Canada."
Yeah.
They really, they get right into it and do a super job. So thanks for doing that. I meant to copy a couple of names down. I'm the vice chair of the program at the county for the university, what do you call it, bursaries. And this year, there were 2 Tay Township residents that received bursaries. I don't want to put you on the spot, Andrea. Would you know their names?
I do believe that one is a summer student that we've had for many years, if I recall correctly, Mackenzie, who happened to be in the office earlier today.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Good
The
for her.
other, I can't recall off the top of my head. I apologize.
I think it was in account. It's in one of the CIP packages. So take a look at that, and congratulations to both those students. It's pretty competitive, so they did very well to receive those bursaries. That brings us to, we don't have a closed session, Madam CAO?
No, there's nothing today.
Okay. So we won't have any closed session reporting, so we have bylaws. And I have, to that end, a motion moved by Deputy Mayor Norris and seconded by Councillor Larmaw that bylaw 2025-36, 2025-41, 2025-42, 2025-43, and 2025-44 be enacted as bylaws of the Township of Tay. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Our confirming bylaw for this evening, that's bylaw number 2025-45, moved by Councillor Raymond and seconded by Councillor LaChapelle, that bylaws 2025-45, being a bylaw to adopt the proceedings of the November 26, 2025 council meeting, be enacted as bylaw of the Township of Tay. All in favor? That is carried. Adjournment. I have a motion moved by Councillor Bumstead and seconded by Deputy Mayor Norris that this regular meeting of council adjourn at 8:02 p.m. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you, staff. Thank you, council.